Okay, that's it. I'm ready. Nice and comfortable. Have a nice drink. Please have a nice drink because today I'm going to speak a bit longer, I think, that last time, because I really want to share what I discovered this week. And we were speaking about it a bit today during the program, like with Israel first. But I'm like, no, I want to speak more and more in details with my friends. So here we go. Today the subject is Shabbat. I was learning some amazing things, and I want to give you some of the highlights. That's what I've learned, and things that I've learned also before. Okay, Shabbat is amazing. It's like really. Is like the pinnacle of what God is going to bring on earth. That's it. And I'm going to blow your mind because my mind has been blown away by suddenly discover things. Okay, start by the beginning. Last week I was listening to again, Rabbi Glassenson, okay, is the man who is the rabbi who speak about the Bible code and all these things. And he was speaking on one of his YouTube about Shabbat. And I'm like, oh, I'm always interesting because I could see the letters. And about, I wrote this book, The Beauty of the Hebrew Language. If you want to purchase it, just go on israelfirst.org and you can have it here in English, in French, and in German, okay? And so Shabbat is very dear to me. We started as a family around 2003. I don't know, instinctively we felt, we didn't know so many things, but we felt that it was important for us. The church was getting not so important, but the family was getting important. And we felt that going to church was not the main thing. It wasn't what God was telling us. It was more to be. And it was like all during the week that we were learning things with Him, which is amazing because now, like I don't want anymore to say too much the Bible. Obviously, I will use it sometime, but the name Torah is so much better and means so much and is very simple. It's instruction from God, okay? It's like the book that He gave us to instruct us. There is so much to say. Anyway, so this is it. Also, we've learned a few years ago, we were also with David Nekrutman, CGCUC, and we were doing something about Shabbat, and he was speaking about it. And suddenly I was like, oh my gosh, the thought really blew me away. It was like, so when there was the first Shabbat, he carries on till now. So Shabbat has always been. Now, as Christian, we didn't know. Church Sunday was very important and Shabbat wasn't important. But for God, Shabbat is Shabbat, and we're going to look a bit more about that. So he's like, you know what? He's making us changing our way of thinking to go back into the Hebraic way of looking at things, which is the right way, which is the Torah way. And this is for the world. It's like is universal wisdom that God is downloading in our mind more and more, and when we are searching for Him. So I tell you, it's just like mind-blowing, okay? So when we were with David Nekrutman, I was discovering, wow, amazing. Shabbat lasted from the beginning of time, from the first Shabbat, the seventh day, after the 6 days of creation. Okay, another time I love to deal and really, think about Shabbat because there is so much things to know about it. And the next time after, it was like, wow, Shabbat is not doing, is being. And again, in the world where we are, you have to do, is like suddenly, no, it's the day for being, okay? Like we exist. We don't need to do something to be something. Oh, wow, it's so exciting. You're going to see why. You're going to see why. And it's like, you see, all these thoughts that I started to store slowly, they all walk. I mean, they are like a beautiful jigsaw and coming all together. So when I was listening to Glass and Son this week, he was saying you have the 6th day of creation, okay? First day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. And you know how it is in Hebrew, is not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. Is day 1, Yom Rishon. Day 2, Yom Sheni. Day 3, Yom Shlishi. Day 4, Yom Revi'i. Day 5, Yom Chamishi. Day 6, Yom Shishi. And after Shabbat, okay? So amazing. By the way, and it's written like that in the Bible. When Thursday was there, funny enough, it's like Yom, it's not say Yom Rishon, funny enough, like we say now, is written Echad, because there was only one day. And there is a whole understanding and a whole teaching even more about Echad, but we won't go through that today. But this is something, and I have to do it again because it's just amazing and it's what God is bringing, and I will do it again. And we will go through that particular things. Okay, and after you have all the other days, and you have the day Yom Shishi, but it's not say Yom Shishi, it's Ha-Shishi, so it's the 6th day. So they are speaking about because God gave the Torah on the 6th of Nisan. You know, there is different thing that we can understand, more revelation on it. And I think also I would say that is the finishing work of the creation, the 6th day, which is also like man was created also on that day, and is the end for coming to the redemption, okay? And maybe it's also Hashishi when the Messiah is coming to reveal himself just at the end. I'm sure there is a lot of things, but it's very interesting that it's written Hashishi, the 6th day, and not just day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And then, so you have that as creation, 6th day. God created the heaven and the earth, you know, and you look, and I mean, if you go in Genesis, the first chapter is like a DNA of so many concepts, and they are like all tight, and when you start to undo it like a DNA, there is so much information. It's just amazing, okay? So, this dear Rabbi Glasserstone was saying God created the heaven and the earth and created for 6 days, and 6 days was created. Oh my gosh, Shabbat was not created. Shabbat was. And it's like you can see the 6th day and you have Shabbat. And you have 6th day and you have Shabbat. And it's like coming into Shabbat, is like coming into eternity. I tell you, it just did so much to me. It's like Shabbat wants to show us what will be the future. The future will be like eternity with God on earth. And this 6th day of creation and the 6th millennium is like a preparation to come into this time of Shabbat and this time of millennium, because funny enough, like the millennium is also compared to Shabbat, and it's the Shabbat of Shabbat. And you read in Psalm 92, they speak also about it, which is very interesting. I was learning that also today. And so it's like coming into a new dimension, okay? So this 6th day is creation. God is doing, he's doing. But the 7th day, what does he do? He stays, okay? And when you read in the Bible, it's written I can't remember the exact name, but when you say he accomplished everything and is like stop, there is the name, the root of Shabbat is in the verb. Okay, so it's like a whole concept that God just make for us to be able to enjoy Shabbat. And obviously the Jewish people will make it in a very special way. As believers in God but not being Jewish, we don't need to follow like the top all the commandment that God has for them, but it's like we have to understand the essence of Shabbat. It's like to stop, to rest, to enjoy of being. Just we can be and we don't need to do. So it's exactly what the Jewish people are showing. It's like, look, we're preparing a lot before, and then we are just enjoying the food, we're enjoying each other, we're enjoying to be. Okay, this is just amazing. Now, some other thing also, okay, when you look at the letters, because you know how important it is to look at the letters. Shin, Bet, Tav. Shin is like you can put, you know, the letter, how it looks like that. And it's like you can put little lights for Shabbat. And you can, it's like Esh, fire, is made also with this letter Shin. And also this rabbi was speaking, you know, like the Hebrew language is the first language, is the original language, is the creative language, which is just amazing. But all the other language was been given after by God at the Tower of Babel when we didn't behave properly, I would say, as human being. And so God said, you want to make the world without me is not possible, and I have to take your language. I mean, again, it's like we can speak about that another time, like to dwell with that, but it's like there is so much things, and to say more about it. But it's like, so Shin is like God so for the language, he gave these languages, and there is a tint of Hebrew in every language. Like, for example, Shin, the letter, when you say in Hebrew, shine is like the sunshine, or the candle is shining, which is showing the light. Shine is coming from the same root. It's just amazing to see that, okay? I mean, he was speaking about some very deeper thing, like the letter Shin also is like 3, and is the Avot, is our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And there is 3, and even in the shape, because when you look at the letter Shin, 3 of them are different. So one represents Abraham, one represents Jacob, and one represents Isaac. Very, very interesting. And he was speaking again about some other thing, and it's really touched me because I knew before when I was doing some teaching about Shabbat, the letters, Shin, Bet, Tav. Okay, so let us do it quickly. Like Shin is the light that we're speaking about. Bet is like the house. Okay, so we have the light of God in our house, and this is like in Shabbat when we light the candles. And then you have Tav, and Tav is to represent Emet, and Emet is truth, and so truth will prevail. And when you have Shabbat at home, is a declaration that truth will prevail. So, you know what the rabbi was saying? He said, yes, the letter Shin also has inside of it the notion of, the essence of truth. And I was like, yes. So let us look a bit what he was saying. Yeah, I mean, the letter of truth, Emet, okay? Yeah, it was interesting. He was looking also at Shabbat. Sha, like with the shin, with the light in the house, and Bat, like the daughter. And so, you know, when you have Shabbat, is like they are singing the Song of Songs. Is like the relationship that God has with Israel, and Bat Zion is like the daughter of Zion. So it's all there. I didn't see that before, and this was very beautiful to see that. And now, yeah, again, so when he was speaking about Shabbat who exists, like truth, this is very important too. Truth exists. And you know, very often people say that they are fighting their ideas and I'm right and this and that. And no, truth doesn't doesn't need to fight for being, because truth is truth, and eventually truth will prevail. So when you know something deeply, and when you know there is truth of Torah in you, it's like you don't need to convince the people. It's like truth will convince them. It's like you can present the things to them and speak about it, and they can take it or they can't take it. But it's like truth doesn't need to do apologetic, really, because truth is truth. And I was like, yes, it's so true. And like another concept also is like, wow, another concept is like Torah has been given to the Jewish people. So again, you see, we speak about the 6th of Sivan, when the Torah was given to the Jewish people in after the redemption, okay, in the desert, in Mount Sinai. They were ready, they receive it, and they say, yes, we will do it. And if they didn't, the world will have been in chaos again. Is that God couldn't do that people won't take the Torah, because everything is done on the earth for us to be in a relationship with God, to have a relationship with Him, and that truth is with us, and He is truth. And Shabbat is the essence of saying that truth will prevail. Is all connected together. It's just amazing. And yeah, another thing is like Shabbat gives strength to the world. Just take that. Shabbat it gives strength to the world. So the 7th day is like God is renewing the world with Shabbat, and like God descend to be with us. It's just amazing, because you know, I'm thinking for so many years we didn't know what was Shabbat as believers, as Christian. And we missed so much because we just didn't know. And you know, the first believers in Yeshua, when Yeshua came here, they believed in Shabbat. They were all Jews. Shabbat was so important. But religion just really cut us off of our Jewish roots, of the Hebraic roots. And we lost so much. And God is so kind now to bring us back all these precious things that we just lost. And interesting, like we started to do Shabbat since 2003. And what do you think? Shabbat is more precious to us ever, ever, ever. Every Shabbat is something even more important for us, which is amazing because it's like so dear to us. And just think like it's for God. It's like He sees His children, more and more people. We know so many Christians who know that Shabbat is important now, and they love to do Shabbat, and they love to have the bread and the wine and do the blessing and be around the table. Few people, many people, the family together, you know, but having this sense of when you lit your candles, is like the world is gone and you are going to rest, and is sustaining you. That's it. That Shabbat, God is sustaining you. And it's what I was saying, that Shabbat gives strength to the world. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. Okay, yeah, something that I want to speak to you also, which is very interesting. Okay, like I'm so excited because, this corona has been very bad, but it's been very good because it gave us more time to be able to think and to go back in the Torah, and it's just wonderful. So one of the things is, you see, again, is a process. We are in a process. When the Jewish people went out of Egypt, it was a process. There was a plague, bad time, and it was very hard at the beginning also for the Hebrew people. The plagues was also on them. And then after a while, there was a distinction. And there was no plague at the end on the Hebrews, but there was still a plague on Egypt. And after their firstborn died, and all of that. So it's very interesting to see that, we are all human and we are going through things, but when we start to separate with what God is saying and we're getting ready to go on to redemption, there is a change. There is a deep change in us, and we don't feel. Is that God is sustaining us, okay? It's Him who sustains us. It's Him who is bringing His food on our table every day. Obviously, we have to work for that, but at the end of the time, it's Him who is giving it to us, okay? So there is this thing, there was redemption. They go out of Egypt, and where do they go? They go in the desert, they go in the wilderness. Midbar. Midbar is a place where you are in, where He speak. Midbar, middevar. In the word. Devar is the word. Mi is in. So Midbar, the desert, is the place where He is going to speak to us, which is what He's done. He gave the Torah to the people in the desert, in Midbar, in Mount Sinai. And then they had the Torah, okay? The Torah was given. So there is a time during the redemption where we're going, when you have the corona, is like a time of stress, a time of challenge, a time of transformation, but for redemption, for freedom and for what? To receive the Torah. That the world is going to receive Torah. The world is going to see that Torah is the way, is the wisdom for humanity. I tell you, it's amazing. Woo! It's exciting. Okay? Yeah, I wrote it here and we're speaking about that. Truth doesn't need to justify itself. It is. Truth is. So it will prevail. It will be in the face of everybody at the end. The last things also that I really love is like, again, Shabbat. God make us as human being. Now, during 6 days, we are human doing, but during Shabbat, we are human being. And this is what we are. Now, we have been doing, and now God is going to bring us more and more in the final redemption where we'll be human being. And so we won't need to fight anymore. Sorry, my thing. We won't need to fight anymore. We'll be able to be, and we'll be able to be with each other, and we'll be able to be with our Father. I think it's just extraordinary. So this was the thing that I wanted to share with you today. We wish you Shabbat Shalom for this week, a wonderful end of week. Enjoy Shabbat. Is always a time for resting, for learning, and for being, is what we say. So from Martin, he's walking the dog now, and from me, we send you plenty of blessing from Zion. Okay? See you next week. Bye.